At the center of the universe, at the border between the light and the dark, stands Castle Grayskull. For countless ages, the heroes of Grayskull have defended the universe against the forces of evil. Walk through the Hall of Living Pictures and learn the history and mystery of the Masters of the Universe. Dive deep into the mythology of Eternia, Etheria, and more. For those who know the stories of Grayskull will come the power to be supreme, the power to be all-knowing, the power to be Legends of Grayskull.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Legends of Grayskull, the fan podcast where we discuss the history, the mystery, the magic, and mythology of He-Man, She-Ra, Eternia, Etheria, Norodor, Primus, New Adventures, Old Adventures, Ladybird, Golden Book, comics, mini-comics, anything and everything you can think of. He-Man, She-Ra, Princess of Power, Masters of the Universe, anything with that Mattel logo down in the corner. Once again, I'm Matthew Dooch. I'm here with Sean Scavarna. Sean, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Matt. It's really crazy. We're on the other side of 2020 finally. Mm-hmm. And you know that meme? I don't know if you've seen it, but I've seen the one where there's the guy looking at stuff, and it's like, okay, you see it's 11 or it's midnight on, and then all of a sudden you see it, 11:59. Then 11, and it just keeps going, and then he's like. You know, I like that did not happen to us. Just like when Y2K years ago, that did not happen to us either. So there you go.
That Y2K.
So hopefully we're in a better year this time around.
Well, I'd say it couldn't be worse, but you know,
it couldn't be worse. Yes.
Know. But then you've also got that meme going around that's going, you know, why are we so happy? 2020 is about to turn 21 and start drinking.
Yeah, let's not let it do that.
Well,
I don't need those like 4 a.m. calls from the cops saying, "Hey, 2020's calling for you." It's like, no, I'm good.
I think I'm up.
So yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Real quick here before we get into whatever we're getting into. Thank you everybody. Again, thank you everybody for the previous year's worth of episodes. We are not doing our anniversary episode today. Life schedules. That will come later in the month. But this is our anniversary month. Happy anniversary, Sean.
Happy anniversary.
and we got some big things planned. It's gonna be a big episode. I'm gonna be rolling some stuff out. That'll be in a couple weeks. We'll do that one. But we didn't want to wait until then because I know I've been jonesing to get back behind the mic and reach out to all you guys. I'm sure Sean feels the same way. So we just wanted to get together, chat a little bit. We're just gonna go over some stuff. First off, I do want to say we are still on the road to 200 subscribers. So and again, we're doing a giveaway. As soon as we hit 200 subscribers, we'll be giving away a Masters of the Universe Origin Scareglow mint-on card as Walmart gets because they hate toys. And the grand prize is the out-of-print Power and Honor Foundation book. Really easy to enter. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel. Send either me or Sean or post on our Facebook group the screenshot showing that you're subscribed. So, and you're entered. The other thing you can do is go to our Facebook page, and I've got a post up, and I'll refresh it and throw it out there again when this episode goes up, but it's just explaining the giveaway. Go ahead and share that on your personal page or in a Facebook group that you're a part of, and that's a second entry. So you can get up to 2 entries per person on this, and as soon as we hit 200, we give it away. Last I looked, which was a few days ago, we were at 125. So just 75 people. So if everybody's already subscribed, gets one person more, one of their buddies to subscribe, we're giving it away. So make sure you go check that out.
No, under, no, around. Oh, boom. Oh, dearie my. Oh, we must work on these landings.
I agree.
Madam Raz, are you all right? Oh, dearie my, yes. But there was something important I had to tell you. Now, what was that again?
The news, madam, the news. It's time for the news.
All right, so I think we just got to start with the biggest news here. So as we all knew, Walmart's Masters of the Universe Origins exclusive deal was only for 2020. They got the lead on it. Now, I thought that meant, January, February, the other retailers would start rolling it out. But basically, on January 1st, everybody went, here's Origins. I mean, they're everywhere now. Everyone's picking up. I've seen Wave 3, which is Roboto, She-Ra, Zodak, and Merman, along with the Battle Armor He-Man and Battle Armor Skeletor Deluxe figures are showing up at Target. Panther's at Target. And then Big Bad Toy Store has pre-orders for everything released thus far. And they also have pre-orders for the Wave 4, which we'll go over that a little more in depth in a minute. But yeah, so unexpected. I did not realize everybody was going to be so on the ball about let's get this out here. Now, what's that mean to you, Sean?
It means that there's a couple things. It means that people finally can get the hell away from Walmart, because I know from the minute these things have been introduced onto the market, it has been a cluster for a lot of fans, a lot of collectors. And even, the Scareglow that you're talking about, I mean, they're not even shipping them in a way where fans are happy to get these products if they're a mint on card collector. And to be honest, if they're all over the place, it's only going to help the visibility of the line and of the brand. And that's what we need right about now, especially with where not only with Origins, but it's, there are a lot of people out there posting, hey, we're getting the cartoon this year.
Yes.
This is the year. So it's like we got pretty much 1201. Boom. All this stuff is now on the shelves, basically. Yeah. And it's like this is now the year that Masters is going to come back with a force to be reckoned with, hopefully. So cross fingers, fans and other people, not fans even.
And now, of course, we are not big Origins fans, me nor you. That's no secret unless it's your first time watching the show.
No secret.
But just the fact. Now remember, after 2000X came and went, and Mattel burned a lot of bridges with their variants. To the point where when they were first promoting classics, they thought they were going to get a retail deal, and they could not. And that led to the formation of Matty Collector as a way to get classics out there. Now we've got, Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Art, they're collector focused, so I get that. But the fact that Target on January 1st is resetting their toy aisles to get this stuff out there. Now, number one, that means Mattel paid them probably a good placement fee for it, which is normal. But number two, that means Target is willing to give this a big force behind it, a big push. So is that Target believes in Masters of the Universe as a brand that much? Is that the numbers that they're seeing that Walmart's doing with this line have been really, really good, and Target's eager to get a piece of that? Either way, it's good for the brand, and I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
But that's just my thought here. It's like, wow, Target is really willing to get right in on this. So that means for all its missteps, something is going right. It is promoting awareness of the brand. These brick and mortar stores feel that it is a viable option in the toy aisle again to make them money, which is what it's all about, because that leads to more comics, a movie, the cartoon going longer, and everything else.
Definitely. Yeah, with Target, I mean, they had their own troubles in 2020 with the G.I. Joe Classified line. I mean, that
Still,
I think
that
well, they still,
that
and
Viper,
on top of that, like
Cobra Viper launched on the first two, and I've already seen a ton of posts about no one can find it anywhere.
exactly, and that's exclusive to them.
Yes.
So, like I feel like maybe they're trying to learn from how that was fumbled. With let's give them what they want with this line at least, and they probably have seen how it wasn't working well with how Walmart pushed it out, because it seemed like different regions of the country had it as a priority depending on how further west you were.
Was feast.
The
It was
East,
feast or famine.
Feast or famine, because over here in Pennsylvania, it took until close to the freaking end of the year for me to walk into a Walmart and actually see. Like literally the week of Christmas was the first time I walked into a Walmart. Here's Tila, here's Evil Lynn, here's Beastman, and I'm just standing there going, well, at least they exist, because I've only seen photos of these.
I did not see a He-Man in my store until like first week of December. Like that. I mean, how can you not get He-Man out there before then? Your main character.
Yeah, well, there's two local Walmarts that I go to. One's a little smaller. The other's like one of the super center deals. The super center one, the last time I was in there, had nothing but Skeletor clogging the pegs. They were all over the pegs in there, and they had the Sky Sled, and that was it. And then the other one, they had the variety. They had all of the Wave 1 just right there, and yeah, it was nice, and I did smile seeing them, because it's like, yeah, these are old friends I get to see on the pegs. But you know where I stand about it. But it is nice to go, hey, they're out now, and there's people that want these things that can finally get them, and that's And I won't make anybody feel bad if they want them. That's completely cool by me. So
yeah, the only one I've seen with any consistency is Battle Cat. Battle Cats are everywhere. Locally here, but everything else has been, like I said, now they finally got He-Man and Skeletor. They're on there. And let's address that right quick, because you can bash this line for a lot of things, and I will agree with you, maybe disagree with. I'll agree with most of the bashing I've seen, but I'm getting sick and tired of people going, Wave 1's clogging the shelf, it's going to die. Wave 1's sitting there. This is it. It's not going to last the next year. Wave 1 sitting there. Wave 1. And what they are 9 times out of 10 referring to is He-Man and Skeletor. I know it's different, guys, but wrap your head around it. He-Man and Skeletor are not Wave 1. The way these assortments are coming out is there is a Skeletor case. Every case has 4 figures. There is a Skeletor case, and there is a He-Man case that have no wave. They are evergreen figures. Retailers can continue to order those by themselves, and I'm sure eventually they probably will replace it, like maybe they'll come out with a variant or something that will replace. But for right now, He-Man and Skeletor, they're just cases of themselves. Wave 1 is Teela, Evelyn, Man-at-Arms, Beastman. And there's a case with one of each of them in it. So everyone's equally packed. So no, it is not Wave 1 is clogging the shelf. It is the retailers ordering more He-Man and Skeletor. So get that out of your head, because you're going to see He-Man and Skeletor for at least I guarantee you the next year at least. And maybe after that they'll do something. I'm sure there'll still be a He-Man and Skeletor. Maybe they'll do something different. But the point is to always have a He-Man and Skeletor available, but not to follow the 2000X mistake of forcing He-Man and Skeletor into the same packs as the secondary characters, that's what led to the clogging of the shelves. So now retailers can order the secondary characters, which is the actual wave 1, 2, 3, up to 4 now, without being stuck with more He-Man and Skeletor. See? So hopefully that clears it up. And yeah, and there are some places where wave 1 is sitting there, but you guys got all the wave 1, and like my area, it's got hardly anything, and that's Walmart distribution. And I think the recent Target example shows that like most of the missteps as far as distribution were on Walmart's end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like if you give me a choice between Walmart and Target, and we are not sponsored by either, so it doesn't matter.
However, if one of them would like to sponsor us, please reach
free.
out. Just drop me a message.
I'd rather be at Target though. Like Target always has the environment's better there, for at least locally at mine. I feel like if I go into Target, I feel like I can bring the kids, and it doesn't feel like, okay, is something weird going to happen in here that turns into, oh, now it's on YouTube and it went viral because somebody crazy was in here today or whatever. And Target, I usually feel, does manage their toy section locally better than anything either Walmart ever does. When I go into either Walmart, 9 out of 10 times, the pegs are just empty. And it's like, okay, why did I even bother coming out here? I should have just went to Target the whole time. So, in that way, I think that the line has a better chance of reaching more people this way.
All right.
And I don't know. I'm just more of a fan.
Now,
Target.
In that vein, I do agree with you, but in that vein, so Target, jumping back to G.I. Joe Classified real quick here. Number one, and I think this will be a short discussion, should a figure that could be considered an army builder be an exclusive?
No. But we also, like, if you
hear listening, Mattel?
No. But, and that's the thing, like, I think Mattel really messed up on that level, even with classics, because again, Roton, Skelecon, and you have to pay how much to get that? But it's supposedly and there's supposedly like a story that they weren't meant to be just in there. It's just the way it worked within the timing of the line and all that. But it's like, yeah, that wasn't the greatest idea either. So I'm not going to go and say it's just that. But yes, an army builder should not be exclusive to Target, because then you're gonna get all sorts of, you're going to be paying out the butt for that then. And then why are you building?
Exactly. Anything that's an art, give a weird paint scheme, give an obscure character exclusive, sure. Uncle Montork exclusive, absolutely. Like the Keldor Cronus Target 2-pack exclusive that's coming out this year. Absolutely. Flocked Panther, for sure. But like Horde Trooper, Palace Guard, like that's just stupidity. I mean, that should be one of your highest produced figures, because of all us big man-childs that are like, I had the disposable income to buy 20 of them, and we will, So shame on Hasbro for making a Cobra Viper an exclusive. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, the whole way they've handled that line, I'll be honest, I was collecting it, and now it isn't even in the forefront of anything in my head of I need to get this or that for it anymore. And it's actually been on the bubble for me to even sell all of them off and just be done with it, because I'm just like, I want stuff that I can just go out and I know I'm going to get excited to see it. Whereas the disappointment when you go into a Target and you know where they should be and they're not even there, it's like, yeah, it's not helping the passion to collect these things in any way, shape, or form.
And honestly, especially the price those classifieds are going for, like that would be if you're not getting to continue on and then the price they're going for, like that's just temptation upon temptation. Now,
okay,
second part of the question, which also relates to Hasbro and G.I. Joe Classified. So Target has I think it's between Classified and all the Ninja Turtles, the NECA stuff. They've gotten a lot of flack for that too. Target has recently been limiting how many figures an individual person can buy. And on G.I. Joe Classified, it is literally one figure per person. And not one Baroness, one Lady J, one Duke, one Cobra Viper, you know. And I know someone's yelling at me that those aren't even all in the same wave. I know. Baroness isn't even single-carded. I know. They were the first 4 G.I. Joe characters that popped into my head, okay? But that's not like one of each. It is literally like, oh, we have Baroness, Duke, and Roadblock. Which one do you want?
Mm-hmm.
And now there have already been reports that they're trying to do the same thing with the Origins line. That, to me, is just ridiculous. And I think it's going to hurt. I could see one per character, but one per, like, category? Like, one Masters of the Universe. You can go and you get one Masters of the Universe, one G.I. Joe, and one, Star Wars. Like, that... Like, what is this? I'm 10 with my mom again? Okay, honey, you only have enough money for one figure. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And especially a line like Origins, that's a mass-produced line that is now available at every retailer. Like, that's not... I don't put that as the same... Like, they have to manufacture at least... You think at least twice as many Origins as Classified. Probably 3 or 4 times, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, last year in particular, because of all the different brands that were coming out, all the new toys we were getting, and, depending on how the stores were stocked, last year was sort of the year of the scalper, because they could go in there and do some crazy stuff if you weren't, like, literally at the doors of Target running. It's like Jingle All the Way, running into the toy aisle, hoping for the best and fighting everybody on your way in. And, like the Classified line suffered from that a bunch, and, the markup on those, I got them. I got a few where I bought them from people at cost plus shipping or whatever when I first dabbled, but I've never paid the exorbitant fees or whatever, the exorbitant prices. But it's like, okay, it's the whole, this is a problem, so we're going to go extreme to make the solution happen. Which, I don't agree with that, especially in Origins case, because to be honest, Origins have been out there for almost a year at this point. A lot of people are going to be able to already say, I already got Wave 1, I got He-Man, Skeletor, I want Roboto, I want Merman, I want She-Ra, versus, worrying about a lot of this stuff. And it's like, the exclusivity is the problem for Target, and that's why they're doing this. But then it's like, then all the other lines are going to be a problem in the aftermath of that. And that, to me, it doesn't make any sense. Like, to me, it should be the Classified line should be the one that they should be focusing on, since that's their exclusive and that's where the problem is. Last summer, for instance, I took my kids to Target, and I'm walking in the toy aisle, and they were stocked with the Hasbro Plasma Series Ghostbusters. Yeah. And I was going in the aisle going, oh, cool, because I hadn't seen them on the pegs at all. And there's a big guy standing there, too, and he literally just grabs everything off the peg, throws them into his cart, and walks away, and there was nothing left the minute I'm like, I literally just put my eyes on these things, and you took everything. Like, that, to me, is extreme. Like, he shouldn't have been able to do that, though.
Exactly.
That's where it's like there's a fine line, like, maybe if he takes the entire series up there, they could be like that. I don't know. Because it's like
one per character.
How do you do it?
One per character, I think, is a good, a good line. Because the thing is, imagine a kid goes into the store, like, man, these look awesome. Hey, mom, can I get something? It's his first dabble, right? His first in the master. Okay, what do they got? Oh, look, they got He-Man. They got Skeletor. Mom, can I get these? Good guy, bad guy. Like, that's a good basis. Oh, sure, honey, throw them in the cart. They get up to the register. Oh, sorry, you can only buy one of these. Like, imagine you're that kid and you're like, or even the parent. The parent might just go, oh, forget it. Just, you know what I mean? Like, it's, I don't know. I guess looking back, and the one that sticks in my mind the most, because I actually remember the first time I got it, was the Turtles line, the Playmates, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And my first figures I was able to get at once is I got Donatello and I got the Rat King. You know, maybe just my family, but like, and I know you said that you only got He-Man right off the bat, right? Your first figure.
Yeah, he was it. It was
You were
He-Man.
just
Yep.
okay. But I'm sure shortly thereafter you were bugging your mom for another one, right? Like a villain or something, you know.
Yep.
And I don't know. It just like it's just kind of that thing to me. It's like for me to start off a line, like you need at least one hero and one villain, right? Because that's where all the conflict comes. That's where all the imagination comes from. Like, and to think that there could be kids going in there, and some Target employee is going to go, "Nope, you can't have a hero and a villain. You got to choose one or the other." You know, what's that going to do to hold their interest in the line? You know.
Well, I'll say this. I'm not trying to defend it, but I'll say this.
It.
When I was a kid,
I love Devil's Advocate.
No. I don't like defending what they're doing. To be honest, so I'm not. But I'll say, when I was a kid, if I got one, it usually was the hero, because then through the hero, I could at least have him go on adventures, doing other things. And then sometimes I would just go, hey, there's Skeletor. And if I didn't have Skeletor, or I didn't have that figure, I would just pretend that figure was there, and I'd have the He-Man doing whatever I wanted to do at that moment.
Right.
And then when I got the other figure, then it made it even more epic, because now I can blow it up and compared to what I could do. But, you know, my imagination never limited me to, I needed both. I could just go with whatever I had. But, you know, like, I also remember, I mean, that was our first episode.
Yeah.
I had to do the actual legal battle with my mother to actually get a He-Man versus getting any of the other figures. So it was a big enough win that I'm like, I'm happy with what I got right now. And I don't want to go through that every time I go to the toy store. But yeah, I agree. Like, having a kid that wants to get a He-Man and a Skeletor, it's like, if I worked at Target, I wouldn't want to hold that policy to people. If they had this little kid and he's holding them or she's holding them, whatever, I'd be like, just take, like, I'll ring them through. Don't worry about it. And I kind of, because it's only helping them,
right?
It's only helping them love the line, like you're saying. And then it's like, well, if somebody's telling you can't have this, then it's like, well, then why do I want this stuff?
Exactly.
If you're going to be a dick, why would I buy it?
Just go back to punching holes in the cards. That's what you need to do, Target, and then all the scalpers will just stay away from them.
Yeah.
No, my Target, seriously, when I was in high school, my Target did that with Star Wars. Just Star Wars. They would actually take a one-hole punch, and they would go up the top there where the Power of the Force logo is, and they just just to make sure there were some left on the shelf. Yeah.
Huh.
And I didn't care. I ripped all mine open, so I loaded up.
Well, I was the idiot that I got all those and kept them in on card, figuring I didn't do that to my original, so at least I could do it here. And now I could get $5 a pop for them if I'm lucky. So there you go. I guess I should have just played with the damn thing.
All right, on to Big Bad Toy Store. Real quick here. We're not going to spend a ton of time here. But they have literally everything, guys. Check out Big Bad Toy Store. They have everything that has been released, will be released, available right now for pre-order at decent prices, honestly. I mean, they're $14.92 for a basic figure at Walmart. I haven't been to Target. I don't know what they're, but it's $15.99 at Big Bad Toy Store. Now they have also, well, they show the pictures of Hordak and Triclops there. They're coming in Wave 4 along with Stratos and Ninjor. The funny thing I found was the Triclops is not the Triclops that won that fan vote. So, like I said, you will be getting a regular Triclops, and you're even going to get the regular Triclops before you get the one that you wasted your fan vote on. So, and I'll leave that at that because we talked about that already. But But so we got a first look at Hordak. And he looks just like the vintage figure. He's got the cape and everything, as you'd expect. And we had heard some rumors of Hordak, so that wasn't a big surprise. But they also have for pre-order another Evelyn, Stinkor, Fisto, and Mosquitor. And those were all previously unannounced figures. And they have no pictures. They just have Masters of the Universe logo. Yeah. So, surprised? Or no?
I'm surprised. I guess I'm enlightened by their choices. I would say surprised, but I'd also say it's nice to know that we're not doing it in the same release order as the originals, because at least some of the ones at the end, like Ninjor, Scareglow, Mosquitor, in my case, it's like some of those guys were so dead last in the line that you never got them out in the visibility. So it's nice that they're sprinkling them in throughout these waves. But yeah, it's kind of fun to see, hey, you know, there is going to be Stinkor pretty soon.
Oh.
We are going to get some of these other figures. Fisto, you know, I like to see what they do with him.
That could be fun. Sorry, the other one from that wave, because Mosquitor is a deluxe figure, which makes me definitely sure that he's going to have his blood pumping feature. Because that's what they did with Clamp Champ 2, to get his clamp the size it needed to be and functional. They put him into that deluxe figure assortment.
Yeah.
So it's Evelyn, Stinkor, Fisto, and another Merman. That is the next unrevealed wave. So what do you think they're going to do with the Evelyn and the Merman?
I don't know. I guess I would say they might tip their hat at classics and do like the Battleground Evelyn colors possibly, or like a 2000X.
I agree.
Where she's more pale skinned than yellow. And with Merman, I heard that they're actually thinking of maybe doing single card issues for Merman and Beastman in Origins from the Lords of Power.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that might be where that's headed, which, again, you know, there's going to have to be some sort of a slight differentiation between them. Otherwise, there's going to be people out there that are like, I spent how much on this thing, and I'm just going to put them out on the peg, you know?
I think that would be a huge misstep. I've heard the same rumors. I think that would be a huge misstep to release those Lords of Power figures single card.
Yeah.
That would just be a real blow to PowerCon. I mean, and not even necessarily a financial blow, but because they've already sold. PowerCon sold theirs already, and they're shipping out now. I'm still waiting on mine because I ordered the She-Ra 2 and she was delayed and everything. But it's not going to hurt them this year, but it could hurt them in the long run because, you know, if they do this, then next year when PowerCon goes, hey, here's our exclusive figures for this year, how many people are going to go, nope, I'm not falling for that again. They're going to come on single card. I'm not. And a big part of funding PowerCon is the exclusives. Like that is, they factor that in. Like if we want to have PowerCon, we have to sell exclusives. It's just and that's San Diego. That's everybody. That's part of the game. And I'd hate to see PowerCon take a ding because of that. So I'm hoping, like you, I think a more white-skinned Evelyn, and I'm hoping it's honestly just a blue Merman. You know, they released.
That's
the
what
green.
I was thinking.
I'm hoping it's just the blue variant. And
I mean, they established that in classics, and I feel like, you know, what, like it or not, I know there's people that love Origins, but I feel like classics is giving them a little bit of a, hey, that's what they did. Maybe we could do it using what we have, kind of a deal. So, you know, I personally, I think the blue one for Merman is actually a little cooler in some ways because there is that, hey, I never had this version when I was a kid, you know. So now if we have the classics one, if we got the Origins one, and it also holds to the idea of the Origins as in like in the mini comics with him being, you know, that color originally, it's like, all right, that works.
Now,
but
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say now. Feel free to use this idea, Mattel. Just give me credit. You don't have to pay me. Just put my name on the package or whatever. Release Merman in blue, just a repaint, obviously. Give him a generic Fishman head as well. I mean, you're
Then you can army build.
and then you can army build, and you will sell. Even the people who don't want a blue merman will go, oh, he's got a generic head. Oh, give me 5 of them so I can set them around merman. He
has a legion of mermen.
Yep. Exactly. That would be cool. Do something that even classics didn't do. Because we got the main army builder in classics, but do something a little bit more, and you will be surprised how many more people you can get to jump on. And yeah, that's just, and you can tell they're trying to. I mean, they've released, and I'll give it to them. They are pumping these things out. I mean, they launched in August, if I recall correctly, officially. And they already have 3 waves out on the shelves as of today. That is breakneck speed for the toy world. I mean, you got to give it to them. And up until the potential wave 4 here, that's the first time they're going to release repaints or reissues. Like 3 full lines of completely new characters. That is unheard of anymore. I mean, even G.I. Joe Classified, don't they release a roadblock in every wave?
It feels like that, yeah. I mean, now they're even, the last I heard, they're doing like a repaint wave of that one where the people that had issues releases, now they're going into the more traditional color schemes. So the people that got the originals are probably pretty pissed, and now they want to get the other ones. But in the case of this, it's like I feel this is the toy version of Netflix. Yeah, because it feels like Netflix every couple of months, the next season's already available for something I've been watching. Like, I mean, heck, Cobra Kai showed up at like 12:01 on January 1st for season 3 already. So
I still haven't started that show. I'll get to it one of these days.
Oh, do yourself that favor.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Last things. Wrapping up Big Bag Toy Store here. Let's put it on record here, Sean. Stinkor, will he stink?
He better. Otherwise, it's going to be a fail.
Absolutely.
There's no way around that.
And number 2, Fisto. Do you think either as an extra accessory or just with it, do you think they'll do an articulated fist? The big fist.
Articulated fist.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I would actually be curious to find out if he's going to be a deluxe figure himself.
He is not.
For some reason, well, then I don't think they will. I think it'll just be, here's the Fisto you had when you were a kid.
Solid fist.
And I'm curious, and I'm also curious if they're going to have the action feature of the swinging arm, or are they just going to have it where here's Fisto and it's very similar to the rest of the classics? Because I think I heard right. Battle Armor He-Man does not have removable arms. I think I saw that somewhere this weekend.
That is the rumor. I have not been able to. Real quick here before we get to Battle Armor He-Man, Fisto, I think, will not have the articulated fist, but I think they should. Honestly, I think. Well, again, I want to see something different, so I think they should look at doing an articulated, even if it's just like fingers open, you know what I mean, and as a one piece, or I don't know. I just like to see something different.
Well, the way I'd go with it is look at Mr. T.
Yeah.
And that's I think that's what you're getting. And
I think that's what they'll do. I'm going on record. That's what they're gonna do, but I'm just putting out there, maybe
it'd be nice
to see something different. And I do not think he'll have the action spring down fist action. I don't think they will do that. And honestly, even though I had a ton of fun with that as a kid, as a collector, well, here again, as a collector, I say don't do it. But my kids are the ones into this line, so for them, I'd say do it. Like I can just imagine they would have a ton of fun with that. So, you know what? I'm gonna go on record. Do it, Mattel. Give us the power, the spring-loaded arm for the fist.
The power punch fist for Fisto, that was actually He-Man's thing, but
the power
basically
punch
the power
was the
of
waist.
fist. Yeah. No, I'm the odd man out in so many ways when it comes to Masters, because when I was a kid, I didn't need Fisto to have that swinging fist movement. I was happy to just have the figure, and I could have him punch whatever I wanted because I had the ability to use my imagination and all that. And it's as a collector, which is why the collector lines are more my speed. It's like, I want to pose him in a way where his arm isn't just constantly down at his side because you have to move it and break a spring every time.
Exactly.
So, I would appreciate not having it this time around too, but I'm sure there's plenty of people our age who are screaming their heads off at me going, why are you even on a podcast? Because you hate everything about and it's like, I don't, but my issue is, like, as a kid, I even knew I didn't need some of this stuff because I'd rather just pose them as I chose to pose them over, the company is telling me this is how it's supposed to work or whatever. But then like, you have cases like Cyclone. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like that I could spin him around because that makes sense, or whatever. So it's like I'm hit or miss, whatever.
Yeah. Now, you brought up Battle Armor He-Man.
Yeah, I did.
So, I'm hearing reports. I've only seen one person post it, and I couldn't verify with anyone else. So, it may be true, it may not, is all I'm saying, guys. But supposedly, the arms are not removable for the Battle Armor figures, which supposedly was the whole point of why the drum is so much smaller. Now, so why? Which I think is what you were getting at. Why make that drum smaller to accommodate the removable arms if the arms aren't actually removable? Now, I say the Scareglow that I opened, he is very hard to take apart. I don't know if it's because of the translucent plastic or whatever, but like the Skeletor that my son has, very easy. You can pop all the arms, the hands, everything out. Scareglow, when I took his hand off for that picture I did with Skeletor, I gave it Skeletor the glowing hand. Mm-hmm. I felt at a point like I was going to break it. If I didn't know that piece was supposed to come off, I would have stopped because it was that tight in there. So do you think maybe it's just they're really tight because of the new armor? Maybe.
I'd love to actually see how they look on the inside because we've been able to see the way that the originals worked, and for these, it's so weird that there's that tiny little window now, and that's it. And how is it that a toy line from almost 40 years ago could make this nice broad H symbol that was like the freaking Superman S on his chest, and now it's like this tiny little window, and if you don't hit that part, I guess he's just gonna stomp all over you, and that's the end of it. And it is weird to me that if you can't take the arms off, I thought that was the whole point of the line. So I'm a little like. Exactly. Okay, so some do, some don't, and I guess it makes sense to go, okay, He-Man is the traditional buck. Right. We're going to make that you can customize the hell out of it, but when we get into the deluxe figures, they're not going to be as customizable because now it's like that's for that figure. It's specific. Right. I think my the way that I wish they would have done it, again, I don't have the figure in hand. I don't know. But the way I wish they would have done it is a little more of the traditional version. Right. Make that one have the pegs go out. And then you could actually have the arm, like the articulation in the arm isn't all that different. You just have to replace how the peg works for the shoulder to meet into the battle arm.
And that's the key. That's the difference. Is in the vintage, the pegs went out, and in these ones, the pegs go in. And that's the key there. And I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole because we've been here before, but Battle Armor Skeletor, I'm just going to say it, those two heads that it comes with, they stink. They are no better than the open-mouthed Skeletor heads.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened, because when they showed that figure off at PowerCon, I'm like, oh look, they fixed the head. They didn't. That there's one where he's literally smiling like a smirk, like. And then the angry one just looks like he's like cartoonishly pouting.
Yeah. I know I've voiced opinions plenty of times, but I think part of the drawback for me about the line is, yes, there are some good things that I know customizers and a lot of fans are looking for, but there is something about the way the figures look to me that makes it feel like they're not gunning for this to be a legit, serious feeling to these characters. And my problem with that is, when I was a kid, when I saw these figures, they did not look cartoonish. They looked legitimately like, here's monsters versus men. Here's barbarians versus demons. And that made me give a whole bunch more weight to what I was playing. Whereas now that we've crossed the whole version of Masters where Prince Adam is singing four non-blondes, or whatever, three non-blondes, four non-blondes, we're over that threshold. It feels like the people that are in charge don't necessarily want to embrace they call it Origins, but it's not embracing the Origins. It feels like it's embracing the silly stuff of it, whether they're attempting that or not. When you see sculpts the way they look with these heads, it really does make you go, okay, so a skull can actually manipulate itself to look angry. I never needed Skeletor to manipulate his skull to look angry. He looks like Skeletor. I'm trying. Sorry about that.
That's close.
But he's Skeletor.
Well, that's it.
That's how it should be.
Skulls cannot frown. It's not. Yeah. It's not. And yes, it happens on cartoons and stuff. But even, Filmation did a lot better job of making that skull emote without, not like this. Like, it's a skull, man. Learn some anatomy,
It's to me, when I saw the one where he's got the frown face or whatever you want to call it, I honestly heard it say "yeah" in my head, and that made me get angry because that isn't my Masters. It just never will be.
Every mini comic that's come out with this line has had a Mia in it. So
Thanks for that, Mattel. It makes me sad because this is the end of this for me for this one. But yeah, we went there and I had to walk through that door. But I mean, my God, how many Hasbro doesn't make fun of Transformers. Hasbro doesn't make fun of G.I. Joe, and they don't make fun of Star Wars, and they don't make fun of Marvel Legends. But it feels like out of all of the toy lines that we have coming back, that people are excited and they're wanting to welcome them back onto the shelves and into their collections, I feel like Masters is the one where it's like they just don't want to be serious about this, and they don't. It's like, even the color schemes drive me nuts. And that was something on, I know on Battlecast, Eamon brought that up, where he was saying, they were darker colors. They were richer colors when we were kids. You look at them now and they're so more bright and the whole other opposite of the spectrum from what we grew up with. And when I see them, it's like, that doesn't represent the way it was for me as a kid, and it's not even Filmation colors even.
Right.
They're even brighter than that. And it's like, I don't know. That's why half the time I got to tap out on Origins when I talk about it. It's like, I've said it all. I'll say it again. Yeah. And that head sculpt in particular was the new, that's what did it for me this week,
Well, David Clark just posted on his adultcollector.org page that he just picked up 2 of each at his local Target. Battle Armor He-Man and Battle Armor Skeletor. So by the time you record Council of the First Ones tonight, we will have a definitive answer on whether or not those arms come off. So
yeah, I'll ask him, and then on top of that, I'll be like, so which one are you going to display for your Battle Armor Skeletor, by the way? Is it gonna be the I don't want to brush my teeth, I want to go to bed, or is it gonna be yeah? Which one?
All right, last thing on heads. What? Let's not go down the rabbit hole. But one more. Yes or no? That
Okay.
vintage inspired He-Man head that comes with Battle Armor He-Man, is He-Man Asian on that head?
From what I've seen a little bit, it feels like they might be pushing a little bit of ethnicity on him this time around.
Why is every time they redo that vintage head, except I'd say for classics, but the Giants, the commemorative, every time they redo that head, for some reason it gets squished, and that's what lends itself to looking slightly Asian. And I don't get why they can't redo that vintage head in a pleasing way. And number two, why does Mattel not own orange paint anymore? Because He-Man's hair was never yellow. Ever.
Yeah.
So.
No. Again, when I see that on the shelf, it looks so weird. That yellow blonde. And that was part of why when I saw the line originally, I'm like, these feel like they're for younger kids. They don't feel like when I was a kid, the version of He-Man that we had, like you said, the oranger paint. Yeah.
Right.
It looked blonde. It didn't look any other way. And now it's like he got his hair did.
Blonde is not yellow.
Exactly.
All right. Moving on. Maybe. Hang on. Hello? No.
All good?
Yeah, no school tomorrow. Too many power outages. We had a big ice storm. Oh, I sent you that picture. Like my car,
yeah, you did.
Yeah. I just saw it was a school corporation, and my wife works for them, and I'm like, I don't know. Anywho. So, what are we doing? Hang on. Let me get a better start here. All right, so.
Scene.
What you got to show off? Let's do a little show and tell here. What has Sean picked up recently?
Right. What have I picked up recently? Well, close to Christmas. So this was like my Christmas present to me, I would say.
Yeah.
I missed out on the initial pre-order for these guys, but I managed to find them on Facebook Marketplace at an actually, I think the markup was only $10 over what it would cost, if I remember right. I ended up being able to get an Ultimates Raphael.
Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Heroes in a Half Shell, Turtle Power.
There you go. So I got me a Raphael.
He got the best turtle ever, ladies and gentlemen. I said best turtle ever.
I know you did, and you noticed I didn't. So this guy here is actually Matt's favorite, and that's cool. I'd say out of the turtles, he's probably my second favorite. But it was cool to actually get him. I'm still debating if I'm going to actually open them up though, because I love that everything is one-stop shop. It's all in the box right now. I got so many things down here that I lose track of that's the last thing I need. But I saw a review where they said, if you can get these for maybe, $10 to $20 over what the actual pre-order was, they're worth it. And like I said, there's a guy I ended up paying like maybe I think $10 to $15 over the initial pre-order, and I'm like, okay. I was shocked that he was selling it for that low, because I've seen it on eBay for $100,
Yeah.
So I got that, which was really cool. That was my little gift to me. And then The other thing that was really cool, I got at Christmas. This was the year that my wife said to my daughter, we're going to get presents for other people and all that. So Christmas morning, there's a box for me. I open it up, and it is this guy.
Oh, you opened him.
Pete Venkman. I did open him because he's mass produced. So I got a Pete Venkman who is, out of all the Ghostbusters, he is my favorite Ghostbuster. Some of the best lines in the movie were from Peter Venkman.
That's a good likeness of him too.
Oh, take a look at that. Hang on, there we go. He looks, it looks like Bill Murray is miniaturized in my hand. So I'm pretty happy with that. And he came with one of my favorite all-time Ghostbusters accessories, which is the Ghostbuster trap.
Nice.
And I love that I have an actual like replica looking trap, because it's such a, every time they go out, you got to use the trap, and it's such an iconic looking piece that I thought that was cool.
You don't have his proton stream on though.
Well, he doesn't come with one. That's the welcome to the welcome to even Matty Collector pulled that. They only put that out in certain figures, and no proton stream unless you buy Winston. I guess he's the one that gets to do all the work, and the Ghostbusters get all the accolades for it.
And who made those Ghostbuster figures again?
Matty Collector originally, and then Hasbro makes these. Yeah. Hasbro does this, yes. And then I figured I'd just throw this up here.
Oh, okay.
Quick.
Nope, over.
This way.
No, other way.
The other
way.
Here we go. More. There we go. So here is.
There you go.
Here is the Hasbro option, and here is the Matty Collector one that I got from Walmart probably 4 or 5 years ago now.
I think Hasbro won here, actually. That is...
Hasbro did, because the other thing, too, is when you look at the Proton packs... Let me see. There we go.
There you go. Perfect.
You're going to see this one is wider, and it looks way more the way it did in the movie.
It covers their butt a little bit.
It covers the whole back. Yep.
Yeah, those packs were they weren't backpacks. They were full on,
And this one, it's like a slim version.
Yeah, it's a toy
You can see
version.
his back around it. It is. It's basically like the equivalent of, this is a prop replica.
Right.
This is me running around with my Proton pack as a kid thinking I'm Pete Venkman trying to bust ghosts. And my kids and I have actually enjoyed comparing and contrasting these two. Mm-hmm. So I keep on doing that. There we go. So we're having fun with that. I mean, for the time I thought, hey, this is great, because I never had a movie version. This is cool. Then I get this, and now I'm like, all right. I said to my daughter, I'm like, you've got me going down the rabbit hole already with a new line. And to prove that, I will show you something else. The other day, it was actually the 31st. I went out to GameStop, and I'm buying a video game for my kids, and they go, "Oh, by the way, you're a points member. You can pick anything out in the store that you want, $22.99 or less." I'm like, "Are the Ghostbusters figures on that?" "Yeah, you can pick one of those up." I ended up leaving with an Egon.
Nice.
And the best part, he comes with a PKE meter.
Ooh, gotta have that.
Which made me really happy, because none of my figures, except for one Egon when I was a kid, had a yellow one. So the fact we got a legit, here's the way it looked in the movie. I'm like eating these up now, because they're giving me what I've always wanted when I was a kid. And I'm understanding the Origins people in some way on these figures. It's, hey, you're giving me something I always wanted. The articulation is there.
Right.
The actual the form is working. The likenesses and everything. The accessories. I mean, like I said, this ghost trap is one of my most favorite accessories that I have right now, because hey, it's a ghost trap.
Absolutely.
So
good stuff.
Just got to get Ray and Winston and Dana and Gozer, and boom,
Boom.
So, yeah.
That's it. Just
Boom.
all right.
That's a
Anything
big
else you got?
Twinkie. That would be it. Apparently I wasn't as good as Santa believes, so I was happy with
Well,
the little that I got.
I think everything I've got I bought for myself. Me and my wife.
That's basically what happened.
Yeah, me and my wife, we said that years ago. Like the first year we were married, we got present, and then after that, it's like with the kids and everything, we're like, no, let's not. We make the holidays about them, you know. So me and my wife, we don't get each other presents for Christmas. And I'm really that way with a lot of my. I'm like, I don't need anything. Like if I need something, I go get it, or if I want something, I go get it. The stuff I want, you guys aren't going to be able to track down anyways. Like, I had to jump through hoops and scour deals and, you know, sell my soul here and there.
Yep.
But I did get one thing for Christmas from my mom. She sent this to me, and it means a lot. It is the Mega Constructs Battle Cat versus Roton set. Yeah,
Nice.
she said she saw it. She saw it in Walmart, and of course thought of me. And you know, it's one
Sure.
of those things. Obviously it's not rare. I mean, my Walmart's got like 10 of them right now. But just the thought of the matter in it, and you know, that Battle Cat's really cool. Good mermaid. I love Mega Constructs. I absolutely do. So that's exciting. I'll be putting that together. Then I got this was unexpected. I'm reaching around my computer. I know this looks odd. Oh, but it makes sense on my end. Oh, I grabbed it. I grabbed that by accident. I didn't mean to grab.
Ah.
So I saw an eBay listing for Volume 3 of the Mike Young Productions DVD set. That's the last one with Snake Armor, He-Man versus King Hiss on it. The final 13 episodes, season 2, basically. I have a copy of it, but like I got my copy used. It doesn't have any of the art cards. I think it's missing the plastic sleeve, you know, and it's pretty beat up. So I saw this on eBay. Got it for it's the exclusive. I meant to look up whose it was. I don't remember who, but it was the exclusive. It's got the bonus keychain of Snake Armor He-Man on it there.
Okay.
And then of course it's got the actual Volume 3 just like it came out. All the art cards are in there, the guide, there's an advertisement for Matty Collector, all that's in there. And like I said, it's got the exclusive keychain, which has never been opened. It's still in the wrapper. I might actually put that on my keys. That's focus. But yeah, it's a pretty nice. There we go. It's a pretty nice looking little keychain, square. Now the listing said, you know, He-Man Master Universe Volume 3 with slipcover. So I'm thinking they mean this. And this is all that was pictured. It didn't even show this. It was this sealed. It showed both sides of it. That's all the pictures that were up there. So when I open the package, when it gets, well, number one, I got it for like $11 shipped, which is amazing. I mean, I think they were 20 or 25 when they came out. So
Yeah.
that with the exclusive, I'm like, awesome, great. When I open it up, the first thing I see in the package is this top. And I pull it out. It's got all that and the exclusive slipcover for the Volume 3. This was the Best Buy exclusive.
Which is the one I have.
Which
yes.
is the one Sean got at retail, so he's not as amazed by
Yep.
this. But these things... I have been searching for this for a long time, and it never comes up because it's got I put my DVDs in it, but it came just with Volume 3, and it's to complete the mural because these did not, when they produced these, they didn't make them with the mural that goes with the Filmation release. So they released this slipcover to finish off that mural, and I never thought I would own this, let alone to pay $11 to get the DVD, the keychain, and this. That is my deal of the holidays right there. So that is amazing. And just goes to show you guys, when you're doing an eBay listing, take a ton of pictures. Put a good description. Because this should have gone for a lot more than 11 by itself. I mean, I'm glad I got the deal, but I'm just saying, you hear it all the time that people, they stumble upon this stuff. And it's just like they get these deals because the person who's posting it, they take the time to post it, but they don't take the time to accurately photograph it or put a description, and somebody just lucks out.
Well, you've known me. I've told you a couple times. I've had a couple when it was probably 2 or 3 years ago, Facebook Marketplace. There was a guy putting up. It was. Let me think here. It was the DC versus Masters, He-Man and Skeletor,
Right.
just the He-Man and Skeletor from the 2-pack, Optic, Color Change Orko, the SDCC version, and Prince Adam.
Right.
$60. And he
Really?
didn't even ask for shipping. He just said, I'll give it to you for 60. And I paid what normally about one figure would cost to get 5 figures, right? Yeah, 5 figures at Christmas. I got it on Christmas Eve of all days. I'm like, my God, And then there was somebody else the other week, and you and I told you about this, and then I ended up not being able to get it. But they had Battle Cat, Panther, He-Man, Skeletor, and I think there was like 1 or 2 other figures. And the guy even was selling pops on top of that. He only wanted $200 for everything. And then somebody ended up getting that way before I could make the deal work completely. But they're out there. That stuff is out
one
there.
was, he put the wrong picture first. He put a picture of just like one figure, right? Or 2 figures?
He put a picture. The first picture I saw was actually Panther and Battle Cat staring at each other, like you took a side view of those.
Okay.
And it was $200, and I was like, even for $200, what? And then I checked it out, and it's like all these other figures.
$200
and I'm
for
like,
2 cats, that's actually normal-ish. I mean, I know Battle Cat gets a bit higher, but it's not the deal once you get looking at the pictures that it really was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they're out there.
And I got one more thing. This was another amazing score. Something I never thought I would own. And I was really worried because it got shipped out December 1st, and it took about 3.5 weeks to get to me, and the tracking just disappeared in the middle of that, which happened a lot this holiday season.
Yeah.
So I really thought it was going to be lost. It showed up. Sean, this thing is so mint, you're not even going to believe it. I hope. Well, I think you'll know what this is from. If not, I'll explain it. But this is the Power of the Evil Horde, featuring He-Man and Skeletor mini. Well, I say mini comic. It's slightly larger than a regular mini comic. But this is the mini comic that came with the 2-pack of Hordak and Grizzlor with the cassette tape. Now, it's just a comic, but this thing is in mint shape. It looks like it just came out of the 2-pack. It features that wonderful artwork by Bruce Timm. Very Filmation-y. This is the one where the record they actually used the Filmation voice actors for it. But yeah, and it's in the mini comic collection. It's included there, but it's just one of those things. I never thought I would own an actual vintage copy of it, and I was able to luck out and snag this off of Facebook Marketplace. So that is
nice.
That is a find right there. Oh, it's beautiful. So yeah, it's
Nicely done.
been a good year for a lot of things. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, me sitting here and Castle Grayskull's still there from, like a month or two ago. It's like, man, I don't know how the heck I got as much goodies as I've gotten in the last year, but hey, I won't fight it. I actually forgot. I actually got one other thing from Mercari. It took like 3 or 4 weeks to get here too, though. I got the 2-pack, The Mandalorian with Baby Yoda 2-pack. Or actually, his name is not Baby Yoda anymore. But I got that, and it was just like I like the show enough. I want to get it. I'll put it on the shelf, and then my kids can Baby Yoda, and all that stuff. So
you got it. You got it handy, or is it far away?
No, it's upstairs in my room. I gotta go get it at some point. But yeah, it's cool just to be able to have that too, and it's like these little things that I collect just to have like a representation of stuff I like.
That's it. All right, so wrapping us up here, and I've given Sean no warning of this, but I'm gonna throw it at him.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. I love off the cuff stuff, and I've tried not to give a lot of thought either to it. So let's wrap up before we hit our anniversary. Let's wrap up 2020 with a nice big bow on it. Let's hit our best of 2020. So,
best of 2020.
Try not to put too much thought into this, but best television show of 2020.
I'm gonna be that guy, and I'll just say The Mandalorian for me. Changed my opinion on Star Wars for the first time in years.
Now, did you not like Star Wars, or it just you weren't as into it, or you didn't like where it was going?
I liked the original trilogy from when I was a kid, and it felt like everything since then. And I know there's other things like Clone Wars, and so I haven't gotten into any of that stuff yet. But the original trilogy, I felt like that was a good enough thing to get me excited about the adventure and stuff. But then, the prequels, I remember sitting there in the theater openly laughing through half of that stuff, and then the new ones, I just sat there going, I don't have a connection to any single person on this screen right now. This show managed to do what that couldn't, and that's it's immersing me in something, and it's not needing to constantly be about the same stuff every freaking time. We're not always going after the Star Wars legacy, or Skywalker saga, the legacy and all. Its own little thing going out there in left field having some fun, and maybe that's what we needed all this time. So
even though I haven't completed the season yet, season 2, I was gonna say Mandalorian as well, because it's so well done. It's got a great direction, it's got good characters, and exactly the same. It shows that you don't need a Skywalker to tell a good Star Wars story, which is something that they are really forgetting. Honestly, we're not going to dive deep into it, although I could. The worst thing, spoiler alerts, turn this off now if you aren't caught up on the Star Wars, the newest trilogy. The worst thing they did in the new Star Wars trilogies, the sequels, is made, oh God, what's her name? Oh! Rey. Thank you. They made Rey a Palpatine. Honestly, that was the best part about Last Jedi was when it turns out he lied to her, but they made Rey a nobody, because I like that it's like, okay, she is a nobody. It doesn't matter who her parents are, because they're nobody in the grand scheme of things, but she's going to make her own destiny, and she's going to be something, and that's a great message. And they screwed that all up by going, oh no, we are going to tie her back in. Just Palpatine and Skywalker again.
Well, in my opinion, just really quick, the Mandalorian, there is a sense of cohesion at least, where you're going, okay, from the first episode, we're going all the way to the season finale of season 2, and you're feeling like there's no disconnect. This has all been at least broadly thought out, and they're getting to all the stuff that they want to. Whereas if you're doing a movie sequel, or you're doing a movie trilogy and it's a sequel to something people know, at least have a roadmap
Right.
going into this thing. Don't let somebody come in midway through and go,
we could.
I'm going to subvert expectations and throw it all out the window. And you're sitting there going, but they were trying to establish a story in the last one.
Yes.
It would be kind of nice if we had like, well, we're going to keep moving forward with what was already established versus, everything that we thought we were going to love is, and I'm not a lover or hater anyway on either side. It's just I could see why people didn't enjoy the middle, and then the end had to make up so much for what wasn't working.
I promise you, folks, we will do a Star Wars talk because we could definitely get that. We need to start doing more offshoots, but Mandalorian shows that you don't have to be a Skywalker, but it still connects back. You can definitely... They've never come out in... Well, maybe they have, but in universe, they've never come out and been like, oh, this takes place after Return of the Jedi. But just what's going on tells you exactly where it takes place, and it loops back, and it's a great show. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. All right. Now, I'm going to put a caveat in here. Best movie of 2020 does not necessarily have to be from 2020, just within the last year, a movie that has impacted you. I'll go first this time because of what I'm going to say. My best movie of 2020 is actually Jumanji, because...
I know where you're going with this, I think.
I don't think you do, because I don't think we talked. But so back when quarantine first started and everything, obviously I've been out the whole time. I know we don't talk about this kind of stuff a lot, but it ties into 2020 a lot. We try and make it be an escape, but for today, I think it's noteworthy. When we first started quarantine, we did this. We got the kids a trampoline, and we got, we made sure, like, my daughter needed a new bike. We got we found stuff for the kids to do because they weren't going to school. They couldn't play with their friends. Blah 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 blah. Everyone knows that.
Sure.
And I was still working. I was still going out. But when I would, and I was working a ton. Sean knows that. So when I did finally have like the day off, or just when I got home, like I was tired. And we would find stuff at night to do more relaxing because my mind was wiped. I honestly, there were nights I went home and I could barely stand up. That's how much we were working. And one of the things was we started watching a bunch of movies as a family. And one of the greatest memories is I threw on Jumanji one night, me, my wife, all the kids. And Jumanji's a great movie. It holds up really well. Some of the special effects don't as much, but it holds up well enough that you're like, you can get into it still. Go watch it if you haven't watched it in a while. But just watching my kids take to it like I did at their age, and I was about my daughter's age when Jumanji came out, my oldest daughter. And then it kicked off a thing where they're like, well, is there a Jumanji 2? And I'm like, well, not yes and no. And so then we watched The Rock Jumanji. And they're like, well, is there anything else? And it's like, yes, there is. And and it just kind of created this. And now even for Christmas, my son got the Jumanji board game. And we're sitting down and playing that, which is basically a re-release. I think they changed a few things, but it's basically a re-release of the Jumanji board game that came out when I was a kid. And so it's just kind of one of those memories of the year where it's like me and my kids really connected. Like your daughter gave you the Ghostbuster. That's kind of where it is for me, and that's why Jumanji's my movie of the year. And actually, the Rock ones are pretty darn good. They're not... I wouldn't even put them in the same category. The categories like the Robin Williams, that feels like a whole different movie. But they're separate but equal.
Yeah. Yeah, my kids love those the Rock ones. We have those on Vudu, and I want to say at least once a month those will be on, and it's okay because I enjoy the heck out of those. I was not expecting to like them nearly as much as I did. All right, best movie 2020. I'm just gonna have to go. I'm like, what did I even watch in 2020 that was from 2020? For the actual year of 2020, my movie is Onward.
Okay.
That one, I think I brought it up on the show before, but that one was a movie where I'm not the kind of person that enjoys you put real life stuff like cell phones into a fantasy setting.
Right.
It just it's too like I wonder why jelly on a burger doesn't taste good. It's like that kind of a thing to me. But that movie hit me at the right time. That movie, I know Matt and I have talked about it numerous times privately, but in my personal life, there have been people that are gone that I wish I could see again.
Mm-hmm.
I have my father passed away going on this year. It'll be actually 10 years. My dad passed away. A good friend of mine died 11 years ago this month. And, those are people that if I could do anything to get them back for 24 hours.
Absolutely.
And the premise of that movie was something where I might not have been like, oh, it's the fantasy setting and now fairies are bikers and all this, but it actually worked within the confines of the world they built in that movie for me. It gave me some good moments to laugh at.
Absolutely.
But and spoilers in case somebody hasn't seen it or whatever, but they did such an amazing job in the relationship between the two brothers who were on the journey of trying to get their dad back because the spell that the older son is the more gregarious one. He's the life of the party, and he's all about this old game that was telling the history of their people.
Right.
And they keep going, oh, it's a game. It's not really the history. But because he knows this game, he's leading his brother, who is magically inclined, to try to solve this spell that they couldn't perfect and get their dad back for 24 hours. So the whole journey is the two of them, and the younger brother is always bristling against the older brother because the older brother can be he knows everything and he's so boisterous. But at the end of the day, he believes in his little brother. There is no sense of jealousy. There's no sense of it should have been me or any of that. That could have gone easily in that movie.
I would say don't spoil the ending, but that ending is perfect, and it's going to hit you like a ton of bricks, and it makes sense. So many endings are just kind of forced and tacked on.
Yeah,
my God, that ending! I was on the fence. It was enjoyable, but then when that ending hit, I'm like, masterpiece, like that.
Yeah,
and that's hit it.
That is exactly what I'm building towards.
Sorry.
It's like I don't want to ruin the ending for no. That's fine. I don't want to ruin the ending for anybody because when you see that ending, if you're not sitting there and you don't know how to breathe for a little while because this moment is happening,
then you're just dead inside if you don't get choked up.
It's like I'm actually getting misty-eyed remembering how much that ending worked for me. And I love the brothers in that movie. I love that, like I said, there's no jealousy between the older brother and the younger brother because the younger brother can do it. He's the one going, you can do this, and he's like, even at their worst moments, he still believes in his little brother, and the little brother just needs to believe in himself through this movie. And when you get to that ending, oh my God, I think that has to be one of my absolute favorite endings in any Disney movie I've ever seen in my entire life. And I did not go to the movies prepared for that ending. Because I'm sitting there, I took my daughter with me and she's sitting next to me. And I was literally almost ugly crying because I could not believe that this movie hit me the way it did.
That was when movie theaters were still open?
That was when that was I think only about a week or two before quarantine kicked in. That was like in the beginning of March. It was near my daughter's birthday is the 18th of March and the quarantine began on the 13th. Yeah. And so I want to say it was probably the very beginning of March that movie hit, and we went within the first week or two. So yeah, and it's one of my favorite movie experiences for that reason too. In a long time.
I just looked up a couple more movies trying to give a movie that actually took place in, like, released in 2020, and both the things I looked up were released in 2019. So I don't see movies very quickly after they come out. And 2020 has been the year of no movies. So, I mean, that's that's why I cheated a bit there.
Well, I'm also one of those people that on Christmas Day I signed up for HBO Max so that my family could watch Wonder Woman, and I also we had Disney Plus because of The Mandalorian, and we saw Soul the day after Christmas.
Yeah, I watched Soul.
So those,
I haven't seen Wonder Woman
those
yet,
are
though.
also
It's
there.
been on the list, but I keep getting off work too late for me and my wife to sit down and watch it. So.
That's a long movie too.
All right, two more.
All right.
Best action figure pickup of 2020. It can be something you got yourself, given to you, whatever. Best action figure pickup. Looking back, what is your best action figure pickup? Could be price, because of memory, because of whatever.
Let me go grab it. I think. Hang on one sec. It won't take me. It won't take me a minute. And this, I want to say, was released in 2020. Ironically,
Well, even if it wasn't released in 2020, as long as you got it.
That's the thing. Like, I'm looking around, going, I know I got a lot of good stuff, but this was the one that I remember it just like unlocking the floodgates of holy crap. I love this thing. This guy right here.
Oh, the Azrael.
McFarlane. That one was the only figure that they posted originally, and I'm like, wow. And now that I have him, he's amazing. I mean, I love that these are actually like a soft rubber.
That's nice. I was just seeing how they were flipping.
Yeah, that and the sword, but then all of the detail in the figure.
Yeah, if you don't want that sword anymore, I'll take that sword.
I actually have been eyeing up maybe getting a second one because I love that sword, and I have the Azrael in the Batman armor, and I've been actually tempted to give him that sword too.
Grab a Classics figure behind you right quick. How's that sword fit into his hand? If you can, without destroying everything.
Here's He-Man. The sword in his hand is actually kind of loose.
In Azrael's?
So, in Azrael's, yeah.
Put him in front.
It's loose.
Put him in front of your face so that he's centered in the camera.
There's He-Man. Here's this.
All right. In front of your face. There you go. Yep.
Yeah, I know. I ended up messing up my camera. So there you go.
God, that's a beauty. And I never followed that run on Batman. In case we weren't clear for our audio listeners, this is the McFarlane DC Multiverse Azrael, if I'm getting that right.
Yeah, it's there's actually a storyline that is a recent storyline called The White Knight.
Yes, I heard
and this
of
is
that.
from the sequel to that. And they did make a White Knight Batman who I got him and Azrael on the first day. And these guys, yeah, like I don't need to get everything McFarlane is making, but this one was the one where I'm like, I really would like to get him. And now that I got him, whew. So
now we're going to see how well that flaming sword fits into a Classics figure's hands. So. And that's going to decide whether I need a flaming sword or not.
We're doing experiments, people. All right, here we go. So this is the Super 7 Ultimate He-Man. If I can get this out of his hand. He's holding that pretty tight. All right, let's see. It is, I want to say it's actually too thick. Actually, no. Oh.
Now don't break it. I don't want you. Go over in front of your face. Oh my.
By the power of Grayskull.
That's tight in there, isn't it?
It is, but it actually looks really badass for.
Oh yeah, I need a flaming sword. That is what I've just decided.
You need a flaming sword. I need to get 3 of them now. Oh yeah. It's sweet.
That is nice.
That's a multi-purpose toy no matter what. The Azrael, and I mean, just in general,
Yeah.
he looks amazing. Whether or not you have the sword, but the sword definitely. Well, I dropped something. The sword definitely makes a difference.
Absolutely. Very nice.
So what's
For
yours?
me, and I should have grabbed it, but I didn't. So I'm just gonna tell you, it is the Masters of the Universe Classics. I know, big surprise there, but it is the Classics Scorpia, because number one, I've wanted a Scorpia ever since I was a kid, and I couldn't believe that they didn't make her. Number two, I was after that figure for a long time. She was the last off my list of, because I always make a list of 5. I'm going to track all 5 of those down before I make a new list of 5. She was the last one of that. And number 3, because Sean just found one, made a trade, and just shipped it to my doorstep. It wasn't birthday or Christmas or nothing. He just like, hey, I knew you wanted a Scorpia, and I found her. Here you go. So all that on top of each other, that is, when I think back over 2020, that's the one where it's like, that's my number one action figure pickup, because it just
Wow.
because it,
Well,
again, my the memories alone, like just the fact that
Yeah.
it all ties back to our friendship that has grown over this last year, and before, it started before last year, but really last year, starting the podcast, becoming good friends with you and everything else. It's all wrapped up into that Scorpia figure. So, thank you, sir.
Well, that I'll also give you for 2020. It was awesome. On my birthday, I get this big box
Yes.
from Matthew, and I'm like, okay. I know he sent me the character compendium
Yes.
that we use on the show, and I'm like, what's the second box? And then I open it up,
That,
and a couple of I want to say it was at least like 2 or 3 weeks prior.
yeah.
He says to me, "Hey, my local Target has or
Walmart.
Target or Walmart. They have
Well, I just
have the
posted it.
2-pack.
I just posted
Yeah,
it on
they have the
Facebook because I
2-pack.
never see NECA TMNT stuff in my Walmart. So I just posted it on
Yeah.
Facebook like, oh, look, it's kind of neat to see those.
Yeah, and it was the 2-pack of the Foot Ninjas
Yes.
from the movie.
And then Sean
And,
messaged me. He's like, hey,
Yeah.
if you go back there, because he didn't see it right when I posted, he's like, if you go back there, let me know. And I just ignored
Yep,
that message. Like, I just...
I didn't get any response back, and then it was a couple days after my birthday, and all of a sudden there's this box. Open it up, and there's 2 Foot Ninjas looking at me, and I'm like, you. I was not expecting that. So yeah, we did a couple solids for each other this year, and that's how
That's
it
what
works
it's
for
all
me.
about.
It's just that simple.
And that's
so.
another package I was worried about, because I told him to go live when he got his present, and then he goes live and he only opens up, because I sent 2 separate packages, and he only
That's
opens
right,
up
that's
the
right.
book, and I'm like, what? Like, where? I didn't want to message him and go, where's the other package? I go to my tracking, and the book says delivered, and then the foot soldiers, I sent them same day, same post office, and the foot soldiers, they had no tracking from like 3 days prior. Like, it just stopped at one of the Pennsylvania waypoints, distribution centers. I'm like, and then it did end up showing up there a few days after, so that was a good.
Yeah, and that's like 2020 has been, like I said, I don't know how the heck I've amassed what I've gotten, but geez, it's been a good year in that level.
So last one. Basically, your favorite memory or personal achievement of 2020. What looking back over the year, what do you feel holds the most memory for you? What have you done, or what has been created that you just feel is a milestone, I guess you could say.
There's a few things. Some of them are pretty personal, but I don't mind getting into them a little bit
Well,
here.
the ones you feel like shit. I mean, it's not
well,
necessarily
I-
your top, but just pick one and go with it.
Well, let's see. I was okay. So a couple years ago, I was working at a job that I went back to because I had to more than I wanted to.
Mm,
And the situation when I went back was drastically different because there was new ownership, and the new owner and I did not get along as well as the old owner and I did. And I was basically shown the door after about a year and a half of working for them. And I was lucky enough that I had a freelance opportunity that came along literally like 2 months before.
right.
And I focused all of my effort into making that work. And it's one of the most amazing things for me right now is like I'm making better money than I ever did working for that guy
Nice.
who basically gave me the brush off. And it makes me every day go, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have done this to this extent. And I'm pretty proud of that. So that probably is my greatest achievement personally
Nice.
within 2020 is, and especially I don't want to rub this in anyone's face because I know this year or not this year, last year has been an extremely hard year for a lot of people through, I'm sure there are people out there that they're missing loved ones. There's people out there that don't have paychecks right now. So I feel bad even bringing that up as that's a personal thing, but
no,
through
you
what
should be
happened
proud
and
of yourself. You have worked your butt off.
I did, and I still to this day I'm working my butt off, but it does. I don't want to rub it in somebody's face of saying my good stuff happened on the same year as all this horrible stuff happening, but it did make me go like through something that we have gone through. I still managed to do what I did, and it wasn't just me sailing on by and I'm bringing in this money. I'm putting in the effort, but it felt so good to see the numbers I'm bringing home finally. And it's better than anything that I was able to do for my family for as long as my son has been born. That's 4 years. And I guess the only other thing for last year, I know you said one, and the only other one I'll have is my little like offshoot is I know for me personally, there's a lot of changes going on in my personal life, and it made me take stock of what is important and what matters. And honestly, like I'll have my moments where my kids drive me absolutely up the wall, like any parent will. That does not change whether, one way or the other. It's like they are kids, and especially when they're cooped up. Yeah. But it did make me really take a step back and go, even if they're driving you nuts, what's the important thing here? And it is about the family. It's about the people that you care about. And I've kind of gotten my head out of the sand or out of my butt in 2020 in how I'm addressing my kids a lot more, and seeing that they're growing into some really special kids that I'm pretty proud of. And that was a heck of an achievement to realize in that last year as well.
Absolutely.
So there you go.
No.
So what about you?
For me, it's it's going to be kind of obvious, but I just want to throw it out there.
I know what you're going to say.
For me,
it's because I got Castle Grayskull.
For me, my greatest memory achievement, however you want to look at it, of 2020 is Legends of Grayskull podcast. This has become, it's like you said, this has been a year, and I know we shy away from it on the show a lot of times because I want this show to be everybody's break. This year has been a rough one. Obviously, like you, I've been working all the way through it. I have not, luckily, been hit with the hardships of paychecks and everything else, but the hours I've worked, the demands of the job, the stress of the job have been more than anything I can remember in all my time. And I've been in my field for, close to 20 years now. And I have never seen anything like this. I have never worked the hours I have. And honestly, my body is not what it was 10, 15 years ago. I can't do the open to closes and bounce back the next day anymore. And that, like you said, this year has taught me a lot of that I need to take time to rest and to take care of myself as well. I'm not
Sure.
a 21-year-old anymore. I mean, I'm not old. I'm not even as old as Sean is, but the
That's ass old, man. That's ass old.
I guess what I'm getting at is it has been a troubling year. Um, I got in I got in a car accident back at the beginning of December. I lost my car was totaled. I mean, it's been the work and everything else. Um, you know, I had COVID. I will say it. I had COVID. My wife had COVID. My oldest daughter had COVID. My other three kids were fine. They had nothing the whole way through. Um, it's been troubling. It's been a trying year. I was lucky. I was asymptomatic, so I was just a carrier. I did not have any symptoms. My daughter did not have any symptoms. My wife got knocked on her butt. She was out for a while, and we had to quarantine and everything else. And luckily, everyone's recovered. Everyone's doing fine.
Good.
But the only reason I'm bringing this up is to show I don't know if I would have made it through the year as well without this show. Because if nothing else, once a week or once every 2 weeks, I was able to just come to this safe space, talk with Sean, engage with our viewers on the Facebook page and on the YouTube comments and everything else. And it gave that release. It gave that window where just for a little bit, and that's what we hope the show is. And that's why, for the most part, I know there are episodes where we've talked about the situation, we've talked about this or that, but for the most part, me and Sean have always said, let's keep it to the world of Masters. Let's keep it to the comics. Let's keep it to the lore, the literature, because this is what people need. This is what I needed this year. Like I said, we started this back in the fall of last year planning. We had our first episode in January. I think actually our first episode was in December. That was lost. Our first real episode that made it to air was in January. And so we were set up to have this outlet for this year where for an hour or two a week we could just go, forget all that. So, yeah. So for that reason, and people have responded. We've grown. We've got followers on Facebook. We've got chats. We've got subscribers. It's us doing it. It's you guys responding it. We've gotten to talk to amazing people this year. Yuka, I got to talk to Emiliano. Danielle's been amazing.
Yeah.
I'm missing a ton of people. I know. Aiden Cross and David Clark,
Stephen Jeremy,
David
Clark,
Matthew Rodriguez, all of these people that's like I never thought I would get the chance to just sit down and talk Masters, and it's been for all the shit that this year has brought, it has been equally if not better amazing opportunities, and thanks. Thanks to all of you. Thanks to those who have listened, subscribed. Thanks for those fans and creators that have come on, that have helped us, that we've talked behind the scenes, whatever. Just thanks, guys, because my family's been great. That's been amazing. But, it's also been great that I have all you guys to lean on to, and especially you, Sean. Thank you, Sean. You've helped make this podcast amazing. You're always there, even off the show. Like me and Sean, we trade a million messages a day back and forth. Just, hey, this happened or this happened or just whatever.
I'm scared to death to go through that and go, oh my God, what month am I looking for to find a
I
certain
can't.
message that's something we talked
I
about?
can't. I went trying to look for something and I could not find it, you know. But yes,
Oh,
so
boy.
at Legends of Grayskull podcast and everything that entails, it's so much more than just a show. It's just been an amazing year on that.
Agreed. It's weird for me to go, holy crap. When was it? 2017?
Yeah.
2016 and 2017 was when I started dabbling in like listening to podcasts because I was really late to the boat on that, you know. And here I am on 2 somehow, and I'm like, how did I even do that? Like, I don't like my voice. What the heck is happening here? But apparently, yeah, I'm adding something, and it is fun. I mean, it's definitely a side of me that I'm like, oh, I get to talk some shop with people because Lord knows my wife doesn't want to sit there and have me talk about
Right.
Battle Armor He-Man's arms for 2 hours or anything. So,
And I think that's a good point to wrap up the show with. This has been
Yeah.
our 2020 year in review. Thanks guys for tuning in. Enter the subscriber giveaway. Please, I want to get this away. I've got all this stuff sitting here. Take it. Enter the subscriber giveaway. Like, subscribe, ring that bell so you're notified when we go live. I've got some live stuff coming up. Check out our Patreon page. I'm not going to go into it too much now. The anniversary episode, we definitely will. But the long and short of it is, we will continue doing this show for as long as we are physically able to. But it does cost money. We do want to upgrade. We want to give you guys a better experience. So if you like the show, you're willing to throw us $1 or so a month, check us out on Patreon. I'll give the link down below. And you'll unlock some cool bonus content. And we'll go more in depth into that on our next episode. But it is out there.
Yep.
Early subscribers, I got a couple bonuses for you. So jump on now. We would really appreciate it. If not, no biggie. You know, I completely understand, especially after the year we just went through. There was something else. Now I lost it. Oh, I know. So,
go.
our anniversary episode. We got some giveaways for that too. It's gonna be a little different. I'm trying to give everybody a shot. So, not revealing anything today. But the first trivia question for our anniversary episode to potentially win prizes is, out of the first 4 waves of Masters of the Universe figures, the vintage line, first 4 waves, what one character, not including the variants, did not appear in the Filmation cartoon? If you know the answer to that, go to our Legends of Grayskull Facebook page, links down below, and post it on that page. The first person to do it gets a point towards our anniversary giveaways. So, again, out of the first 4 waves of Masters of the Universe vintage figures, who is the one character, excluding variants, that did not appear in the Filmation series? Run now. Other than that, thank you guys, and until next time.
Until next time.